AT, Andre.
Come on, Dre.
Yep. Trippin with Let's Go. Woo! Trippin with Theobold.
What's your name?
Theo so bold.
Yeah.
Driggity. Let's go. Trippin with Theobold. Trippin.
What are we doing?
Trippin with Theobold.
Come on, Dre.
See, mic check 1 2. We on? Mic check 1 2. Let me just make sure my levels is good. Mic check 1 2. Hey, what's going on, y'all? And welcome to the 95th episode of Trippin with Theobold. I'm your host, Andre Theobold, and welcome. So yeah, it's a very, very important time of the year. It's strap season, and we here. Fantasy football's back, baby. I'm playing baseball too. Baseball held me over pretty good, but right now, it's all about fantasy football season. Before we go any further, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, and do all that fun internet stuff like the old people say. So boom, let's go ahead and get right into it, man. So today we are going to be, let's first get some tongue twisties out the way. We gotta make sure that the brain and the tongue are coordinated. I'm not sure if that's plausible or not, but we're gonna go with it. So boom, here we go. Let's go ahead and get with some of the tongue twisties. Let me go ahead and get my self together. All right, so here we go. Main gang, and boom, we are here. I thought we were here. Come on, man. Why isn't my thing connecting? Okay, here we go. Okay, my phone's connected, and I did a pre-check before I got on. I'm not sure why my stuff not working now all of a sudden, but we're gonna get it together in a second. Let me just try this right quick. Okay. I know what the problem is. Duh. Oh no, that's not it either. What in the world? Okay, what's going on? Let me go ahead and cancel this right quick. Close that out. Sometimes you got to restart things in life, to get where you want to be. So that's what we're doing. And we are back. And here we go. There we go. Okay, that's what I want to see. That's more like it. Man, you got all these little gadgets and contractions. And I said contraptions, I meant. So boom, here we go. Let's go ahead and get with the tongue twisties right quick. All right, here we go. So y'all can either read along with me or watch me struggle. So since today is the 8th of September, we're going to do we're going to do tongue twisties that start with the letter H, which is the 8th letter of the alphabet. So here we go. All right. 1. Horrible Heidi hears Harry Horace holler. Horrible Heidi hears Harry Horace holler. Horrible Heidi hears Harry Horace holler. Heed the head henpecker. Heed the head henpecker. Heed the head henpecker. How hollow Helen, this is a tricky one right here. How hollow Helen Hull hobbles on hills. How hollow Helen Hull hobbles on hills. How hollow Helen Hull hobbles on hills. Hiccup teacup. Hiccup teacup. Hiccup teacup. Last one. Harry the hungry hippo is happily eating ham in his house. Harry the hungry hippo is happily eating ham in his house. Last one. Harry the hungry hippo is happily eating ham in his house. Boom, got tongue twisties out the way. We're all good with that. So now, let's go ahead and get into, as y'all know, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, as y'all can see by the hat, Bills Mafia. But today's episode is tied to 3 Buffalo Bills. It's tied to 3 Buffalo Bills, all right? This is the first time in the history of Trippin with Theobold that this has happened. So I just kind of tripped right there a little bit. But this is the first time in history that this has happened. We have 3 people, 3 notable Buffalo Bills that wore the number 95, right? And not only that, they wore the number 95 each in different uniform eras, right? So, for example, let's just go and get to it, right? So number 1, off the bat, off rip, is my man, Mr. Bryce Pop, number 95. We got him, I believe, from the Packers back in the day. So he was part of did he play in the Super Bowl? I don't think Bryce Pop played. That's a good question. I don't remember. Did Bryce Pop, if Bryce Pop played in the Super Bowl, it would have been like Super Bowl 28 versus the Cowboys, because he wasn't there in the first one in Pasadena. I can tell you that for damn sure. I know that for a fact. But I think Bryce Pop may have played in that last Super Bowl we went to, which was against the Cowboys in the Georgia Dome. Got to look that up. That's a good question, man. Because we have all these Buffalo Bills that you've watched throughout the history of football. It's very it's hard to keep up because everything kind of gets blended together. Everything just gets all put into one, right? So Bryce Pop, number 95, wore the Super Bowl run jerseys, or wore 95 in the Super Bowl run jersey. Then you had my man Sam Adams, who we got from the New England Patriots, right? Because I think we got Sam Adams and we got Lawyer Malloy at the same time. Or no, I take that back. I know Sam Adams did play for the Patriots, but I think we got Bledsoe. Now this is the year when we got Bledsoe and Lawyer Malloy, and we thought we were going to go to the Super Bowl. We thought, we were going to, manhandle the Patriots every year, man. But nah, they okey doked us with that. They knew what they had. They were giving us garbage, and they just bullied us for like the next 15 years. So this is Sam Adams, and this is the game. I think this is the first game against the Patriots when they made that Lawyer Malloy and Drew Bledsoe trade, and we stomped the Patriots in that first game. And this was when Sam Adams scooped up a fumble, Tom Brady, I believe, and ran it back for a touchdown. So this is Sam Adams, aka Big Papa the Showstopper. I remember that, man. Big Papa the Showstopper. No, I'm sorry. Sam Adams, I think, did play for the Patriots at some point, but we got him from the Bengals that year. That's right. We got him from the Bengals. So that's Big Papa the Showstopper. And who else we got? The number 95, of course, man. Kyle Williams. Definitely notable, man. Hall of Fame worthy, man. Kyle Williams, number 95. Just retired. He wore the newer threads that we got. I think that was one year. 2010, 2011, I think is when we got the new threads. But anyways, come on, Dre. Episode 95 is tied to Bryce Pop, Sam Adams, and Kyle Williams. All number 95. All dope jersey wearers, or all dope Bills players that wore the number 95. So boom, we got that taken care of. Excuse me. What else we got going on here now? So let's go ahead and get into some news right quick. So yeah, so some news right now for me. I am officially in the 235-pound flat bench press club. I was kind of already there, but I got a goal of mine, right? So basically, how should I put it? When I was in college, I could rep 235 like twice, and back then I was small. Back then I weighed probably like 159. Wet, pause. Everything is paused now, right? But you got to say it, right? That's what all the new kids is doing. But I could get 295 twice, back in college. And today, to my surprise, I did 2 sets of 2, threw up 235 twice, and then I threw it up 3 times. So I did a total of 7 reps of 235, right? So my goal by the end of the year is to be able to do 1 set of, I want to get 235 10 times. If I can get 235 10 times, I'm going to be a bad man. I'm going to be a bad man if I can get 235 10 times. So that's my goal, 235 10 times by December. It's going to happen. But man, I got to talk about my gym right quick, man. I go to this whole ass 24-hour fitness, man, and man, these dudes be getting lazy, man. So here it is. What I do, right, is I typically do my workouts through the week. And then on Friday, I do my max rep day, right? I try to get my maxes in, or I try to get stronger. And the way I get stronger is I get stronger on the Smith machine. So I basically take the safety clamps on the Smith machine and I put it up to a certain level and I put the bench underneath there and I throw on my weight and I basically just practice getting the weight off of the rack, you know? And in case so if I can't lift it, it'll come back down on the safety and I'm good, right? So that way I don't need a spot. So man, I went to the gym last Friday, and one of the safety clamps for the Smith machine was broke. Like it was like stuck at the very bottom. So I went to the front desk and I asked the dude, I was like, hey man, I was like, hey, can you come take a look at the Smith machine? I think there's something wrong with the safety clamp on the Smith machine rack. So he came over after finally maybe 10 minutes. He came over and he tried to move it, couldn't move it. And then he made up a bold-faced lie and lied to me in my face. This dude gonna look at me and say, hey man, you know, he's like, man, I think it's been this way ever since I've been here, you know, like, you know, I think it's been like that, guys. It's been like that for months. I mean, I started here like last year and it was like that. And I'm like, man, dude, I was just here last week and that shit moved up and down fine. He was like, okay. Well, I'll go put in a work order. So he put in a work order, right? And I went back today. That shit ain't fixed. So I had to basically get a spot on the flat bench, and I'm on the flat bench, and now I'm doing 225. You know, like my thing was I was trying to basically get to a point to where I could go on the flat bench and comfortably rep 235 10 times on my own. But whatever, it is what it is. Life happens, and you gotta make lemons with lemonade, as they say. You know, so it is what it is. And my apologies, man, for the show starting a little late. Actually, a lot late. But I had a pretty big day yesterday. I did this Who is Tina Graham taping. And so basically Tina Graham is for those that don't know, Tina Graham is a booker in the she's a booker in I want to say the Black community, right? She's a booker and she basically put a lot of the comedians that you saw on Def Comedy Jam and Comic View on. Like a lot of big name comedians got their start from her, you know? So she's working on a documentary and I saw the ad go out for it on social media. I just said, hey, look, I said I'm interested. I filled out the paperwork and, you know, I got a call back and they let me come in and, you know, it was a really, I like what she's doing. Like, I like where the project is going, you know? So basically it was like a lot of comedians that went to this, you know, comedy club and we had to, basically we had to like sign some like release stuff. But before we did all that, we had to fill out a questionnaire form. And then based on the questions that I answered or that I submitted, you know, they gave me a call and they wanted to know more. And then they wanted me to do like an interview segment, you know? So they have a lot of footage of comedians on stage doing their material. I'm doing my material. They got footage of some of us doing interviews. So they're going to chop it up and they're going to build the story to support, you know, Tina Graham's documentary. So I'm happy I'm a part of it. You know, a lot of veteran comedians I saw that I have the utmost respect for were there. It was a fun night. It was also pretty long too, you know, because I got there at 5 and we didn't like rap until, we didn't rap until damn near like 10:30, you know? So did that, came in, I was tired. And today I had to work, take care of other stuff. And then I had to shoot the pod when I could shoot the pod. So that's what we're doing right now. I'm shooting the pod when I can shoot it, which is now, right? So, but now be on the lookout for that Tina Graham documentary. It's I think it's gonna be special, you know, and I'm glad I could be a part of the history. I'm not sure if they're gonna use any of my footage. You know, they might look at my stuff and be like, man, you corny, right? But you never know. They might use a lot of my stuff. They might use none of it. I don't know, you know. But I'm just glad I could contribute. I'm glad I could help, and I hope that, you know, her documentary is a huge success. So shout out to Tina Graham and all the good work that you've done for the comedy community. You know, this is probably long overdue, but it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and I think it's gonna be dope. So shout out to Tina Graham one more again. What else, man? I want to talk about pepper gel, right? So as y'all know, like I don't know, like I don't really do the whole fisticuffs unless I really have to, you know. Like I'm too old for that shit, you know. I'm more of a, you know, I'm trying to just like I'm not doing nothing. I'm not doing no dirt. I'm not out here doing nothing grimy, you know. I'm not out here doing none of that riffraff, you know. I'm trying to just get from point A to point B. But if someone intercepts me from point A to point B, you know, I got to get the pepper gel on them, right? So at first I had pepper spray, and shout out to Edna Cummings. She basically told me about, you know, she said, "No, what you want pepper gel, right? Because pepper spray sprays out. It's like a liquid form that sprays out, and if the wind is blowing, like some of that pepper spray gonna get on you, right? So you trying to spray the joint, it could spray you and the assailant, right? So she said you want pepper gel because it's more like a gel and it's like a stream. It's like a slime, right? And it just shoots out and there's no blowback, right? Pause. But the pepper spray that I have, the container it's in, it's on a keychain and it has a grip on it. Like the container is like the best. Like I like that arrangement the best, right? But what I don't like is the fact that it's a spray, right? And then the actual trigger is like pretty short. So, you know, when you carry it, like you feel safe. I got used to it. Like I'm not afraid of it discharging in my pocket or nothing like that. But the pepper gels that I have, I had one that had like a little cap, and it's like barely a cap. It's like if your thumb gets up in there and pushes down, it's coming out. You know, there's no the safety mechanism isn't that good. Then I got another one, which is for runners, which is basically like a strap that goes around your hand, and it's not on a keychain, but the trigger thing is like it's like a twist. It's a twist pump. The problem is like, you know, it's easy to twist that. So I'm trying to find a pepper gel that basically is like the one that I had in the casing before, right? I know I sound nerdy or whatever, but whatever. So if y'all know of any, let me know. Put it in the comments, you know. But, you know, I'm just trying to stay safe in these mean streets. All right, so here we go. So now, the moment that y'all been waiting for. Fantasy football talk. Strap season. It's back, baby. It's back. So quick rundown. I'm in 3 traditional fantasy football leagues. I'm in 1 survivor league, and I am in 1 survivor league, right? So if you don't know what a survivor league is, basically survivor league is basically when you have to pick 1 team to win each week, but you can't pick. So if your team wins that you pick, you can't pick that same team for the rest of the season. But if you pick a team that loses, you're out, right? So I'm not going to tell y'all who I pick because I'm in this one huge, big survivor league, man. It's like over 100 people in it, well over 100, $25 buy-in. So it's a winner take all. So we're looking at like 2 racks or two racks, two plus racks, right? For the survivor league, you know? So a lot of people, or not a lot, maybe like about 10 people had to pick them damn Chiefs last night. And I knew to stay away from that game. I knew to stay away from that shit, right? That was the sucker bet waiting. That was. I mean, because everything just kept lining up, man. Like the Lions had a good draft. They replaced their tight end. They had a pretty good season last year. They're competitive. They got their swag. And then Kelsey hyperextended his knee the day before the game. They got nobody. I mean, they got some other cats on there. Like what? They got Sky Moore. They got people that can play. But that offense is heavily predicated on Travis Kelsey and Pat Mahomes. Right? So I knew of all the games, I'm not touching that game. So 10 people in our fantasy or in our survivor league, man, got the early boot. They didn't even make it to Sunday. Plus, too, you don't want to be like, man, I'm out. Like, you don't want to be out before it's even the first Sunday of the season, right? So I was like, yeah, I ain't messing with that. But I'm not gonna tell you who I'm going with because people that are in my Survivor League might be watching this pod right now. They might pick my pick. You know what I'm saying? And that may be a competitor that may beat me down the line. So now I'm gonna tell you who I pick next week. So with that, I'm gonna share my results from the previous week. I'm not gonna tell you what I'm gonna do because I don't want my competitors to see what I'm about, you know. So that's that. I'm in a pick'em league, right? So that's a pick'em. That's basically where you go week to week and you pick your picks, and then based on who you pick, you have to then give like a ranking or a confidence number of how you feel about that pick, and then basically you do like your win losses, and then you take your wins, and then you multiply them by the multiplying factor, right? Or you multiply it by your confidence factor or whatever that is, then you come up with your number, and whoever has the best score wins that week, and then you win the pot for that week. So you can win $100 each week in that one. But anyways, we're gonna talk about my fantasy football leagues, right? My traditional fantasy football leagues. All right. So I'm in 3 traditional fantasy football leagues. I joined my cousin Sean's fantasy football league, maybe like, I think this is like my 4th year or my 3rd year playing in Sean's league. He be talking a lot of shit. The first year I joined, I got mollywop. Last year I think the first year I played, I came in dead last in his fantasy league. And then last season I came in, I think I came like in the middle. I think I finished like in 12th out of 16 because it's a 16 team league. It's a deep draft. It's a deep league. So we scraping the pot for bums every week, you know? So, but that league, man, is a fun league, man. We talk a lot of trash in our group chat. The 16 team league. The funny thing was about this past league or whatever was, let me pull this up right quick. So the funny thing about our league is funny thing was, how should I put it? Like, you know, like when you play fantasy football and the dues are due, like you gotta pay your league fees or whatever. So I paid my league fees or whatever, and paid my fees. And then once you pay your fees, that's when everyone comes up with the rules, right? That's when they want to make sure that you understand the rules after you pay, you know? So they were like, oh yeah, just so you guys know, it's a keeper league this year. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't like, so like the whole time I've been practicing and doing my mock drafts, I didn't take into account that we're doing keepers, right? But I knew the order I was picking in, right? I knew I was picking 6th overall, but I didn't know that it was a keeper league. So I was like, man, I was kind of like a little heated about that. But he did put the information out, so all credit to him. He did put the information out, but it was a long time ago. And then the second thing that kind of irked me a little bit was there was no deadline for people to put in their keepers, you know? So people were putting in their keepers an hour before the draft, which is not fair, right? Like if I'm told like 2 days before, hey, it's a keeper league, I'm like, okay, shit, now I got to look at who's keeping who. And only 3 people have keepers out of 16. You're like, okay, cool. Let me go ahead and line up Kelsey to see if I'm even going to have a shot at getting Kelsey. And then an hour before the draft, 11 people show up with their keepers. Now it's like, what the hell? And then I didn't know if they were going to actually be allowed to pick the first round. So I'm glad everything worked out. Basically what happened was if you had a keeper, that was your first overall pick, right? So I didn't have any keepers from last year. My team last year was trash. So, but this year I'm happy about my team. Let's talk about my team right quick. All right. So let's go ahead and look at my team right quick. So here we go. My first, I'm not sure if you guys can see this or not, but you know, I think you guys will be good. If not, holler at me in the chat and I'll fix it. But my first overall pick, since I picked my first overall pick since we had keepers you know, I had like the net third overall pick, but really I was sixth. I had to go with Christian McCaffrey, had to go with CMC, so I took that. And then on the snake coming back around, I got Tony Pollard. And then after I got Pollard, I believe I got Ramondre Stevenson. I wonder if they show the draft. If I can go back to the draft. I don't think they do that. So that's fine. Then I think when I came back around, I said, you know what? I got a lot of no, after that, I got who did I pick? Coming back around. Coming back around, I had to pick. Where's my other receiver at? Here it is. I picked Christian Watson off the Packers. Right, that was like my first receiver I took. I think I took him like round 4. I think. He was my 4th overall pick. Then I think with the snake I got I took Tony Pollard. Then I took Christian Watson. Then I believe I took Brandon Ayuk. And then after that, I was just going after all my sleepers, right? I basically I did my research, I did my homework. So I went Sky Moore. I don't remember the exact order. Let me see if I can't find the draft order, if they still even keep that. Thought I just said that. I'm repeating myself. It's not happening. So it's all good. Okay. No, it's not. They're not going to let me do that. Right. So I'm just going to tell you who I picked, right? So basically, late rounds, I picked up, I was able to get Quentin Johnston, rookie, playing for the Chargers. I have big hopes in him. I got Quentin Johnston, Elijah Moore, Sky Moore, Devin Achane, Sam Howell. I'm liking Sam Howell a lot this year, man. I think them Commanders gonna be tough, you know. Who else did I get? Then I had to get my guy Dalton Kincaid, and I got Sam Laporta. You know, so I wasn't really going to rely off of people's past history. You know, so it's like, as my dad said, like, you know, rest in peace, Pop. He used to always make this joke about universities, big name universities. You know, he said they would live off their past history. He'd be like, "Gee, a lot of these universities are living off of their past history. They ain't shit," you know? So I took the same kind of knowledge and the same approach to football, right? Like, I'm looking at a whole new slate of cats, right? Because I know certain players are going to get hurt, man. Like, I just couldn't. There were some people I just couldn't pull the trigger on, you know, late rounds. And then of course a kicker. Like, I always pick my kicker last and defense last because I always swap them in and out, right? So let's see who I'm going up against in week 1. Week 1, I'm going up against Babble. And he's kicking my ass right now, man. I played 2 players. He played 1. He had Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's probably like his first round pick. Or I think that may have been a second round pick with a keeper. But Baba has Amon-Ra St. Brown, who put up 19 fantasy points. I got Laporta, and he put up damn near 9 points. I'll take that from a low end tight end. And then Sky Moore, man. Sky Moore. What the hell, man? Sky Moore. Take a sip of this water right quick. Sky Moore, man. So one thing that we're seeing from Sky Moore right now is, as Travis Kelce goes, the rest of the offense goes, right? Because without Travis Kelce, those guys look kind of, I mean, they put up points, but you know that the offense runs through Travis Kelce. And Sky Moore is going to get off, pause, when Travis Kelce is there, right? Because everyone's going to be focused on Travis Kelce. That's when Sky Moore going to do his thing. So I messed up by picking Sky Moore. Not by picking Sky Moore. I messed up by starting Sky Moore week 1. That was my fault. I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have did that. But I had no choice because Christian Watson is out. Oh, yeah, Christian Watson is out, but I could have probably started Quentin Johnston or Elijah Moore. That would have probably been a better start for the week. But with Sky Moore, we're going to monitor him for the rest of the season because right now I got to go look at this waiver wire. Let me see what's going on with this waiver wire right quick. Let me see what players are out there because, I mean, if Sky Moore puts up another goose egg like this, well, first I'm going to move him to the bench. I'm not going to play him next week. But he might be one of those players that you have to know when to play, which I hate. Let's take a look at what receivers are out there. So like I said, this is a 16-team league, fantasy league. So look at that. We got Hunter Renfrow. So we got some guys that we can still look at. We got Renfrow, Bourne, Slayton. Oh yeah, this shit is getting pretty slim. We got Josh Reynolds is a good, like you gotta know when to play him. Oh, we got Khalil Shakir. Isaiah McKenzie still out there. So we got some guys on the waiver wire. Okay. So I'm gonna move Sky Moore to the bench and then I'm gonna monitor other people to see what the hell they doing. Because if Sky Moore puts up boo-boo numbers in week 2, he gonna get cut, man. I ain't got time to not be putting up points. You know? So anywho, that's my fantasy team for Sean's league. And our league is called it's called the Big Threesome. And Sean is an idiot. And my team name is Bohica. So if you know anything about military terms, you know, Bohica stands for bend over, here it comes again. All right, so yeah, that's my team name in that league. So then in my other fantasy league, I'm in so I've been in this one fantasy league for 10 years, you know, and it's like one of those leagues I can't quit. It's like, you know, because I've been in that league for so long. So it's called the FFCF Fanatics or the FFC Fanatics. Sorry, my bad. And I met this. So I've been in this league since 2013. When I worked at my last company, and it's funny, man. This league is funny because, I got invited through a coworker who used to work with the other guys at another division of the same company. The coworker that invited me left, or he's no longer with the league. So now it's like there's one guy that I actually used to work with at my job is what I'm trying to get at, right? So it's interesting, right? How fantasy leagues kind of like form like friendships and camaraderie. So I've been in this league for 10 years. And Kev was the commissioner for like most of the years. He wasn't able to join the league this year, but Pete took over the fantasy league, and Pete's a big Steelers fan. So they're keeping it going. So as long as they keep it going, I'm going to keep showing up to support, you know, or to take my collections, as they say. But this league, like I said before, is called FFC Fanatics. My strategy in this one, I think I picked what number was? I think I picked 6th overall. I think. Was I 6? What number did I pick? Man, I'm in so many leagues. I be forgetting what number I picked. But anyways, I picked my first overall pick was Austin Eckler. Had to pick him because he fell to me, so you had to take him. You know, I took Eckler. Then after that, I believe I took Pollard. Then I took Metcalf. Oh no, I take that back. Whoa, no. My first overall pick was Jamar Chase. You know, that was like, I think I picked like 3rd, I think, in this draft, or 4th. I forgot. But my first overall pick was Jamar Chase. Solid pick. I mean, he fell to me. If he's there, you got to take him. So I had Jamar Chase. Then I went Eckler. Then I went Pollard. Then I believe I went Metcalf. Then after Metcalf, I went Trevor Lawrence. And then after that, I went, who did I go after that? I think I went Christian Watson, then Ayuk. Yeah, let me just run down because I don't have the draft order, but yeah, so my lineup right now. So this is a 2-quarterback league where you have to start 2 quarterbacks. So my quarterbacks are Trevor Lawrence, um, Anthony Richardson, and Sam Howell again, man. I got Sam Howell late, so I got 3 quarterbacks. I'm gonna rotate one in whenever someone's on a bye week. Hopefully no one gets hurt. Then for my receivers, I got Jamar Chase, DK Metcalf, Christian Watson, Brandon Ayuk, Elijah Moore, Sky Moore. Yeah, those are all solid receivers. Then for running backs, I got Eckler. I got Tony Pollard, Rashard White. I got damn near everyone I wanted in this draft. Like if I lose, I'm like, you know what, I'm cool because I got everyone I wanted. I got James Cook. I got Khalil Herbert. And then at tight end, I got Dalton Kincaid, Sam Laporta, and what else did I get? And of course, I picked my kicker. And then of course, I picked my kickers and defense last. So I'm feeling pretty good about this squad here. Like the one guy I wanted that I didn't get in this league was Zach Charbonnet. That was the one dude I wanted to get. Cause I think Zach Charbonnet gonna be that dude, But like I said, I got a bunch of new guys, new talent. I don't like to pick old dudes that get hurt a lot. But in the early rounds, you got to take the people that come to you, right? That's what you have to do per tradition, Now, that's another thing too. Let's talk about that right quick, right? So for example, like Travis Kelce, right? Before yesterday, he was like the most reliable fantasy football player in the past 5 years, right? If you look at like his fantasy point production for the past like 5 years, he's always like in the top 5. So if you pick him, like you can build around him, because he's such an intricate piece. He's such a weird piece, right? Because he plays tight end, and if you get him, it's like the gap between other tight ends and him is like night and day, right? It's like huge. So therefore, you don't have to really worry about picking a tight end until like super late. So therefore, you can then go and scoop up other receivers and get a lot of steals throughout the middle rounds of the draft, and then go through in the late rounds and pick up like a Sam Laporta or a Dalton Kincaid, right? But my thing is this, right? Fantasy football players get hurt, right? Like you're not going to have if you look at the top 5 fantasy players from year to year for the past 10 years, you'll be surprised at like how often they fluctuate. So if you're picking one player from the previous year, hoping that they're going to make that next top 5 next year or the season coming up, probably going to be disappointed, So, yeah, but I went ahead and went Christian McCaffrey in this league because this is his first full year with the Niners. So I think he's going to have a killer year. But after next year, I'm not going to pick CMC. I'm not going to pick him after this year because CMC, as we know, is injury prone. Great running back, great talent, but just stays hurt, And to pick someone that high, I need you to be there every game, So that's my league for that one. And I think in this league we have a trophy. It's like this ugly frog, like flower pot. And and there's one guy in our league. He always wins it. Like he basically just keeps it at his house, because he always wins every year. But my team name in this league, as y'all can see, is Kincaidorade. All right, so Dalton Kincaid is the Bills tight end. I'm a Bills fan. I tried to be creative, Gatorade, like the drink, Kincaidorade, is what it is. So let's go ahead and talk about the next one, man. So this other league I'm in right now, it's called Show Me the Money. I was invited to play in this league from my comedian brethren, or my comedian bro, Terrence Murphy. Great guy, funny comedian, man. We always have a good time whenever we link up. He's a huge Bears fan, Yeah, yeah, like we talk trash about his Bears all the time. He knows I'm a Bills fan, so we talk a lot of trash, whatever. But man, real good dude, man. We always have fun when we link up. I'm glad this is my second year in his league. And let me take a sip of the water. My voice is getting a little raspy. Yeah, so before we go any further, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend to tell a friend, do all that fun internet stuff like the old people say. So, last fantasy league I'm going to talk about is called Team Show Me the Money. So, we got this guy in our league named Brandon. His name is Brandon Snell. Brandon Snell put the money up and got this belt made. This is a good belt. You know, it's a heavy belt. You know, I earned this belt last year playing in Team Show Me the Money. Technically speaking, I should be sharing the belt, right? Because we actually tied for first. We tied because the Damar Hamlin game, right? Because me and I forgot who I was playing against. Let me see who was in my league. Who was I playing against? Yeah, I was playing against Jenny MacArthur. Like we tied at the end of the season, and I think I know I had Josh Allen, and I believe she had either Jamar Chase or she had or she had what's the quarterback for the Bengals, man? I can't think right now. Or she had the quarterback for the Bengals and T. Higgins, right? But that game was supposed to determine who was going to be the champion. And then the Damar Hamlin thing happened, and they ended up canceling those results, and we had to end on a tie, But she wasn't physically at the draft. And when they brought the belt in, I said, hey, go and hand the belt over. So this is the belt right here. I'm holding it right now. I plan on holding the belt next season, so God willing, if all my players show up and play the way they're supposed to play, I'm hold on to this belt. But now, shout out to Brandon Snell for making this belt. Let's take a look at it, man. The craftsmanship. They got our fantasy team name. They got our fantasy team. I got it upside down. That's bad luck. That's bad luck to have the belt upside down. Uh-oh. Here we go. Hold on a second. There we go. It's called Team Show Me the Money. This is the belt. I think it's heavy. You see? So it has our team league name up there. Show Me the Money. Undisputed champion. Fantasy football. And then it has these other little side pieces on here. Dope belt, man. Real good job. Real good craftsmanship. Probably gonna put some money up to get a case for it, because we already talked about this at our draft. At the draft, we talked about having a meetup at the end of the year where it's like a ceremony where we gotta bring the belt and hand it over to the new champion or the defending champion, right? So, belt is heavy, man. Try not to damage the joint. But I'm gonna go ahead. I think I'm gonna move forward with trying to get a case made for it. So when I bring it, I can have it in a case to show them before I take it back. So anyway, this is the belt right here. Shout out to Brandon for making this thing happen. Anyways, man, let's talk about this league, man. So yeah, so here it is. So basically, this league was pretty interesting, man. I think we have 12 teams in this league. And let me I'm just gonna run down who I have in this league. I got Lamar Jackson. As y'all can see, I got Lamar Jackson, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk, Bijan Robinson. I picked Bijan Robinson first overall. I had to. He was right there. I don't know if I like that pick, but I mean, because typically rookies don't really get going until like week 4. But I had to pick him because he was there. Got Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs. I got 2 rookie running backs that are supposed to really be nice, but we'll see how that turns out. But I think CeeDee Lamb and Lamar Jackson can save me. I got Dalton Kincaid, and I got Elijah Moore. Sky Moore messed me up the other night, so yeah, that's not looking good. Actually, no, Sky Moore's on my bench, so I'm okay. And I was able to get Zach Charbonnet in this league. I got Quentin Johnson again, Anthony Richardson. I got Devon Achane, Sam Laporta, Myers, Steelers again on defense. So I'm feeling good about this team. We have to wait and see what happens on Sunday. But it is what it is. Those are my teams. Let's talk some DFS right quick because we talked, fantasy football. So I think, if I do what I'm supposed to do in these fantasy football leagues, I can probably walk away with about a stack. I can probably walk away with like a little over a stack, maybe almost 2 stacks or 2 racks, but we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. It is what it is. You got to take it week by week, game by game. But I feel like I have a good, solid core nucleus of players to at least be in the hunt. Now, some players I'm going to have to probably like shave off and pick up players along the way, but I think I'll be able to manage that. So what else, man? Let's talk DFS now. We're going to transition to daily fantasy sports. We're going to transition into DraftKings. Let me see how I did in baseball today. How did I do in baseball? Okay. So today was a good day for me in baseball. All right. I won $15. I'll take that as a win. I'll take that. I will take that as a win. Put up $4, won 15 total. So technically I won $11, But let me just talk about what I did in fantasy baseball today. So my strategy in fantasy baseball today was this. Yeah, we're not going to do Captain Showdown mode because we're not going to have time to talk about that. But let me talk about some baseball right quick because, I play fantasy baseball. All right, so I did something today that I'm proud of, and it's a pretty quick method if you guys want to hop in on it. If you guys win big, make sure you give me like a 10% cut for, sharing some of the details with y'all. But baseball, here's what I looked at in baseball, right? So the common mistake I used to make in fantasy baseball was I would try to, or come on, Dre, or in any fantasy sport, I would try to predict the exact number of points they would score, right? Like predicting the exact number of fantasy points a player's going to score is hard, right? So I had to slow myself down when I was looking at the data today and say, you know what, Dre, don't look for the exact number of fantasy points that they're going to score, for the game. Try something different, right? So what I did was I just looked at how they did against their projections, right? So for example, and Ronald Acuna is a beast in baseball. But let me go ahead and just kind of share with y'all what I did, right? So what I did was, you guys can see, basically what I did was, I'm using this app called Line Star, which basically gives you, a lot of the granular data for fantasy, so you can actually drill in to see what you want to look for. So what I saw was, what I paid attention to was, if I had enough games, I looked at the opponent and whether they were home or away. And I just said, okay, I'm looking at the home record. And all I did was I looked at, how did they do versus, did they go above the projection or were they below the projection, right? And then what was the trend for that series, right? So for example, going into the game on June 12th, Ronald Acuna scored 4 fantasy points, but was projected to score 11 fantasy points, right? So he was down 1, right? So I asked myself, I said, has he consecutively scored below the projection versus the Pirates at home, right? So I looked back at all of it and I said, you know what? Surprise. He never does that, right? If you go all the way back to 2019, he met the projection in June 13th of 2019. Then in 2021, he was under, over, under. The next season was under. Okay, so I guess he did do it. My bad. He did it once, but he was completely under, then over, under. So I said, you know what? Let me see what everyone else is doing in the competition in the same tier. So you look at Aaron Judge, same thing, right? Versus Milwaukee, home. I said, not enough data. Let's take a look at all of his data versus Milwaukee, right? If you go back, he's over, under, at, under, over. So I'm like, he's probably going to be under. And he was under 10. So he was 9. Then Bobby Witt Jr. at Toronto. Not enough data for me to look at that. So let's look at all of Toronto. It was under, over, under, over, under, over. So he's only been over the projection consecutive or twice in a row once. So I'm like, he's not going to probably do that again. So he was under like I projected, right? So I'm not looking at, I didn't look for the actual like score number. Look, my goal was this, right? My goal is simple. I just want my players to beat the projection. That's all I want. If my players beat the projection, I'm going to get a little bit of change back, right? So once I can consistently, predict if a player is going to be over their projection, now it's a matter of, okay, once I know what those guys look like, now from that group, who can really exceed their projection, So right now you got to crawl and you got to build up your bankroll, which is what we're doing. And then Mookie Betts was out. But the reason why I had 4 lineups was because of Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman, right? Like, they damn near put up the same amount of fantasy points. Like, one put up 20, Rutschman put up 25, and Gunnar Henderson put up 22. But those two guys in that tier, because I couldn't decide between those. So I did the same process with this whole tier. And Gunnar Henderson and Adley Rutschman, to me, I couldn't like predict which one was going to have a better game or not. And then in tier 6, I was kind of stuck on Davis Schneider and Max Muncy, but I got Max Muncy right. So end of the day, it's like I tweaked my lineup with those 4 players, and all of them scored, or all of them got me money, right? So I put up $4, $115. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? So that's that. Then what else, man? So now let's talk daily fantasy sport football, right? I'm not going to share with you guys my fantasy football stuff for Sunday coming up because I think I done figured something out. I think your boy might be bailed out like AEG. I'm gonna give you guys a hint, right? I'm gonna show y'all something, but shout out to my man Jonesy, man. Jonesy is a comedian friend of mine. We always talk like finances and money and stuff. We always have fun conversations, man. And Jonesy put me onto this podcast. Let me make sure I plug them because it's a pretty good podcast, actually. I actually have to I subscribe to them already. It's called Establish the Run. Real great podcast. They have this one episode I'm listening to. It's basically they have two players that basically have won the Millie Maker or placed, like, they basically have done so well in DraftKings that I guess that they retired from DraftKings or whatever. They basically introduced the whole concept of not introduced because it's always been there, but it's something I never really focused on, but I'm focusing on now. But it's the projected ownership. That's a key element that you have to look at, is the projected ownership of players, because if you're picking a lot of people that no one else is picking and they go off, that's how you win the big money, you know? And they were kind of giving all the ranges and the numbers, like what typically, like what range of percent ownership were people picking from that were in the top 100. So real great episode. Give it a listen if you're into that kind of stuff. If not, just go ahead and keep putting your money in the pot so we can take from it, you know? So, but anyways, now me and Jonesy were talking about that, talking about fantasy football last night. And we had this funny thing that we kind of came up with. It was we get money irresponsibly to spend it responsibly, right? Let me say that again. We get money irresponsibly to spend it responsibly. So if I hit DraftKings, I'm buying assets, right? I'm buying if I hit big in DraftKings, I'm buying low cost index. I'm maxing out my low cost index funds. I'm buying like stocks. I'm gonna just buy assets, you know. Of course, I'll probably use like a small percentage to like pay off like, you know, student loans. You know, I'm almost done knocking out my loans, but you know, I want to just get them off my back because I'm getting tired of seeing this little check come in or these little bills come in to whatever. I'm not gonna talk about that no more. It is what it is. But nah, I got like a little bit of debt, but I want to kind of get that wiped out. But here's the thing, right? I don't want to wipe out my debt. I want to basically just get it down to a little bit to where I have a little bit left. Like I don't want to like pay it all the way off. I like to, I don't know. I want to be able to always be able to pay what I need to pay back. But if I don't have to, I can take that and invest that into something else, you know? Like to me, there's paying off debt, there's saving money, and then there's investing, you know? And I want to be in a situation where I can invest my money to take the earnings off of my investments to save and to slowly knock off my debt. Now, if my debt is, I don't want this to be a financial education course or whatever it is, but if the interest that my debt is accumulating is eating up my savings or something else, then I got to go ahead and I got to knock out that debt. You know what I'm saying? But if it's not bubbling, I'm gonna let it sit right there, you know? So is what it is. That's that. Let's talk about DraftKings, man. Let's talk about what they're doing. Man, DraftKings is on some pure what's the word I'm looking for? Man, they up here selling snake oil. That's what DraftKings is doing this year, man. Like, so if you know anything about DraftKings and you play the Millie Maker in fantasy football or during football season, you know that what they typically do is that, oh shit, I'm still losing. Oh, how the fuck am I going down? Come on, man. No, don't say that. The game should be over. What the fuck is going on? Oh, they got one inning left. Who the fuck is still playing? Yeah. Oh, damn. Okay, Giants and Rockies are still playing. Okay, Guardians and Angels are still playing. Damn, okay. I thought I had a clean 15, but it looks like someone's going to cut into all that. So, shit. I was going to take a clean 15. I would have taken a clean 15. All right, so I went in $5. I was 18 points off of 300. Aussie Albies, man. What's going on, champ? Aussie Albies, man. Had to mess me up. Aussie Albies had to do me like that. Yeah, I'm probably gonna walk away here with like $10. Fucking DraftKings, man. But okay, whatever. Here we go. What am I looking for? Yeah, let's go ahead and just pull this up right quick, man. So let's take a look at the foolishness that DraftKings is doing right now, man. They are hustling right now. So here's the Millie Maker right here. Sunday Classic or Classic mode. Okay, 10 a.m. featured. Then here's what they're doing, right? Look at this. You can either pay $5 for a chance at $1 million, right? Or you can pay $100 for a chance at $1 million. But look at the pool size, right? That's what I look at. When you look at the $5 one, right? The $5 chance to win $1 million. They got over 1 million people playing that competition, right? So you can either put in like 20 lineups for a chance at $1 million, or just put in one lineup for 100 for a pool size of 28,000 people. 28,000. Do you know how small that is? 28,000. That is small. Like that's half of a football stadium. If you told me that I couldn't finish in the top 1% of 28,000 people, man, I would take those odds. But $100. So my goal was, I was hoping that with the baseball, I could have won that 300 to take and throw that 300 at a chance at the $100 milli at the milli maker for $100. Because if I could have put in 3 lineups at 100 off the money I just won, I could crack that, But I'm not using my own money. There's no way in the hell I'm going to go and take money out of my account to put that in. Nah, that's not happening. So I gotta try to work this baseball again tomorrow to see if I can't, scratch up a couple hundred to throw at this milli maker coming up on Sunday. But anywho, that's the foolishness that DraftKings is doing, man. But for those that do know, the way DraftKings typically works with the milli maker is typically $20 an entry, right? $20 to get in for a lineup, and maybe like once a season, and then you got to put up 100. But right now they're doing the 5 and the 100. So I'm just messing. If I don't come up with this $100 like through winning it through baseball tomorrow, I'm probably gonna just stick with the $5 joints and just do like $25 ones and see if I can't get a couple hundred off of that, and then I see if I can't reinvest that to have a chance at winning the milli next week, right? That's the key, man. You want to win. You want to build up a bankroll to just keep it going, right? It's all about building up your bankroll, because if you're depositing money in the DraftKings, you're losing. I'm gonna say that again. If you're depositing money into DraftKings, you're losing, right? I don't play with my money. I play with other people's money. That's got to be your mindset. All right. So I'm gonna do one last thing. I'm probably gonna wrap up right quick. I gotta do 2 things. So, here we go. I gotta do 2 things. Let me look at let me just show y'all one thing right quick. Let me just try to put y'all on the game. Okay. Let's look at. So I'm back in Line Star right now. Back in Line Star, and let's take a look at. Let's go all the way back to 2022 week 1. Let's go all the way back to 2022 week 1. Here we go. 2022 week 1. Main slate. Let's take a look at the perfect lineup. So let's take a look at this perfect lineup. So this is a lineup last year that if you had this lineup on week 1 last year, you won $1 million if you played the milli maker. All right. This lineup is ugly. All right. I got a lot of people showing me they DraftKings lineups. You got some people picking their favorite teams, like they got all they Minnesota Vikings players in there, or whatever. You got some people that just are picking all the chalky people, And I'm like, oh, that's nice. That's nice. I'm like, but man, you ain't gonna win shit. If you want to win, your lineup's gotta look like this. Look at this shit. This shit ugly. Last year's perfect lineup for week 1 was Carson Wentz at quarterback, DeAndre Swift, running back, Dontrell Hilliard. Who the hell is that? Exactly. Dontrell Hilliard. Robbie Anderson. Now his name is Robbie Chosen. Michael Pittman Jr. Justin Jefferson. Okay. One chalky player. Travis Kelce, Saquon Barkley, Steelers. All right. That's what the line. So I call this a Shabba Ranks lineup, man. Lord have mercy. Right. This is a who would have thought to pick this lineup? That's why you can't look at the names. You can't look at the logo and the colors. You got to look at the numbers, man. You got to look at percent ownership. Let's take a look at, for example, Carson Wentz, right? his projected ownership was 0%. 0%. Let me just make sure. Yeah, his projected ownership was 0%. So those are the kind of players you got to pick. DeAndre Swift. That's another thing too. Don't play rookies, man. No rookies in the perfect lineup. Look at that. Projected ownership, 11%. Dontrell Hilliard, projected ownership, 0%. Robbie Anderson, projected ownership, 0%. Michael Pittman Jr., projected ownership, 21.5%. Justin Jefferson, 25.5%. Travis Kelce, 41.9%. Saquon Barkley, 35.9%. Steelers projected ownership, 19.8%. So you had two players in here that had a projected ownership of 0, right? So take from this what you will and use it accordingly. But if your lineups are looking pretty, you're probably not going to win. I'm just keeping it a buck. All right, so that's it for the fantasy football portion of the show. Good luck to all y'all out there in y'all fantasy season and your fantasy endeavors. I'll see you at the top. But for next week's episode, we have a very special episode next week. Let me take my phone off right quick. We have a very special episode next week. Next week's episode will be a 688 special edition episode of Trippin with Theobold. So as y'all recall from a few episodes ago, I said that I was going to kind of start dialogue or just start questions to figure out, because I want to know more about the 6888. So I'm going to ask my own questions. I'm going to do my own research. You know, some questions may already be answered out there already. Some may not, you know, so we're going to start off with something real basic. Next week's episode, I will be addressing the following questions. Question number 1, was there a 687th battalion? And if not, why? Was there a 689th? Sorry, was there a 6,000? I said, was there a 6,887th battalion? If not, why? Was there a 6,889th battalion? If not, why? You know, what's a battalion? Kind of already know, but these are the questions I'm going to be addressing next week. How was the number 6888 issued? You know, I want to know more about that. And when was the 6888 started and when was it dissolved, right? I think I know those answers too, but those are the questions. Those are going to be the foundational questions for next week's episode. So we're going to focus on that. I might do like a small little snippet of my little fantasy football entanglements. Who knew entanglement would be such a nasty word now, but you know, dibblings and dabblings, you know, so that's what we're going to do next week, you know. So once again, thanks y'all for tuning in to the 95th episode of Trippin with Theobold. Once again, like I said, down here below on my socials, all my social medias or whatever, so follow me. And with all that being said, Ba-deep. I'm out of here, folks. Peace. Yep. Trippin with Theobold.
Let's go.
Caliente.
Trippin. Yep. Trippin. Trippin. Trippin with Theobold.
Trippin with Theobold.